We are here with Craig and Kelly, who are facilitating our upcoming Busy Persons Retreat. They would like to discuss what this retreat experience will look like for our participants. So, what is a Busy Persons Retreat and why are we offering it?
So a busy person retreat, by its nature, is for busy people. We're all busy, and it always seems impossible to try and make time for a retreat, time spent away from our lives, to pray, to reflect, to meditate, to just connect with ourselves. So Busy Person's Retreat is really geared to take the retreat experience and put it into incremental spaces in our day, 20 to 30 minutes in your morning or in your evening or whatever fits in your day, to pray and reflect, to spend some time in silence, to just spend some time with God. It's also geared towards folks who are really a little nervous about the whole retreat experience and don't really know what to expect with the retreat. And so this is a way to enter into a retreat experience in a very easy way, easy manner that will fit into your schedule, into your life, into your time frame. Want to add anything to that?
Well, I just would say that oftentimes, as Kelly alluded to, our first retreat experience is filled with a lot of unknowns. And one of the things that this format affords us the opportunity to do is frankly hit pause.
I just know how hard it is to take even just a weekend and step away from life and set that time, even though I need it so badly, but I cannot make the time in my schedule. And so carving out 30 minutes a day just seems so much more accessible to me.
And it brings us into that place too where we're intentionally aware of the fact that we are human beings and not human doings. And so we can take out those moments we need. I think there might be God at the door. We can take those moments we need to remind ourselves of that and just spend time being.
It's also actually a really good way of beginning a prayer practice, so that if you really have a strong desire in your heart to start a prayer practice, it's a guided way of figuring out how to set that time aside every day and being provided with tools and methods and possibilities for how to spend that time in prayer. And so if you're even just seeking to establish a prayer pattern, this might be an entry point into doing that.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. So, how does the Busy Persons Retreat work?
The Busy Person's Retreat is a retreat that affords you the opportunity to really check in and participate in a way that's consistent with your own schedule. Each day you receive an email containing that day's reflections and other materials. And I just had a huge brain spasm.
And so and so when it fits into your schedule, you can carve out those 20 to 30 minutes with that reflection material and spend that time with it. Sometimes the material is going to consist of videos, sometimes it's written reflections, sometimes it's prayer practices, sometimes it's just a contemplation or a meditation. It'll vary every day, but it'll come into your inbox every morning, and then you get to decide when it fits into your schedule to work through the materials. You can also then print off the materials and save it so that you can always come back to that later, especially those tools that you find most helpful.
And then preparing a series of artists' renderings and dramatic readings will enhance your day.
That was a joke. That was Craig's joke.
I wasn't sure.
You've not seen my art.
All right. What themes will you be exploring in the retreat?
Well, we have, ironically, 5 themes for 5 days. The first, they all have to do with discovering God in different aspects of life, really. The first one is discovering God through prayer, which might sound really obvious, but can be a little bit counterintuitive, because a lot of the times what we think about prayer has to do a lot more with our conveying information outward than receiving it back in. And that's really an important balance, especially for those of us who are busy and are constantly focused on outflow. What would it mean to take God in? Then there's discovering God in creation. The great path of St. Francis and the other nature mystics. Discovering God through others, where depending on our personal experiences, God may be more hidden than we would like. Discovering God in today, in this moment, in this time, in this set of circumstances. And finally discovering where it is that God might be leading you. It's easy to lose sight of that if we can't slow down long enough to listen and look for all those things. And we're hopeful that this retreat will afford you the opportunity to do precisely that.
Yeah, the themes are really geared around the fact that, as Craig said, we are so busy living outside of ourselves. Our world really pulls us outside of who we are. We wear so many different hats and we fulfill so many different roles throughout our days that we tend to become over-identified with all of that and lose touch with who we are. And so our goal in this theme and in these different discovery exercises is really to help reconnect us, with ourselves, with who we really are and who God is and how God is at work in our lives. And so through that, the goal is just to help you get in touch with yourself, and a little bit less invested in what the world wants you to be, more invested in what God wants you to be.
All right.
All righty then.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share about the experience, or
Many, many things.
any specifics?
Not right now.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. If you have any questions about the Busy Persons Retreat, feel free to reach out to us. You can also visit our website for more information and to register.